I was so impressed by our scholarship recipient. It started actually yesterday, last night, when we had the concert at the end of the day. And she and I, and along with Renee, went up and did a song together. And, you know, I had been talking to her, and I don't know if she had very much time to spend with Renee at that point. But we decided we'd do Honeysuckle Rose, and we did it again tonight because it was so much fun last night. But little Miss Jaidyn here came on up, and Renee and I made an Oreo out of her. And I don't know why that came out, but it just did. I made you an Oreo cookie. She's young, she doesn't know about these things. And anyway, now you guys know me, and now you know Miss Renee. Okay, and we both have nothing, we hold nothing back on stage in our silliness and fun. And when Jaidyn, when we started out the song, you know, Jaidyn was kind of conservative, you know, and wondering what the heck am I doing? And by the time we finished that song, she was just as silly as we were and having great fun. And then for her to go out, we turned her out. We turned her out. She had to rise to the occasion or go with a bowed down head. And she decided to rise to the occasion. So I'm so proud of you. So much so that we must hear you one more time.
Do you guys know No Moon at All? No Moon at All? Yeah? In B minor.
D minor?
B minor.
B minor.
Stars have disappeared from sight, and there's no moon at all. Don't make a sound, it's so dark. Even Fido is afraid to bark. What a perfect chance to park, and there's no moon at all. Should we want atmosphere for inspiration, dear? My head interfere. No moon at all up above. This is nothing like they told us of. Just to think we fell in love and there's no